Super dicey.
Yeah.
Well, didn't they do that with an African man in the Bronx Zoo in like the turn of the century?
They put an African man in the Bronx Zoo?
Yes, they did. Yeah, they had an African man, I believe it was the Bronx Zoo,
Oh my
in
goodness.
like the 1800s or the early 1900s.
Pygmy.
A pygmy?
Yeah, Bada Benga,
What year was it?
1906.
Oh, God.
Wow.
Yeah, they had him in the zoo, man.
It's insane.
Look at that.
Wow.
Dude's in the zoo. Yeah. Well, you know what, man? People were just figuring life out back then.
Right.
This is the reality of human beings, is that we have not been alive that long,
Right.
and we have not been civilized in terms of how we view the world today, with inclusivity and objectivity and care and, you know, kindness towards others, like this compassion and altruism. This is on a global scale, this is fairly recent.
Yeah, we're figuring things out as we
Yeah.
go. I mean, the history is it can show you how we've progressed. You
Yeah.
know, it's a documentation of how we've progressed.
But yet still, that was
Still fucked up.
50 years after slavery.
Yeah.
Right?
That's crazy.
Yeah. 40, 45 years after slavery. What the fuck, guys?
So Bronx Zoo, you know, speaking in our like weird cryptid realm, reminded me of something. So get this. Chupacabra has been attributed to the possibility that there are thylacine in North America. And here's what supports that. There is documented proof that however many years ago, I don't remember the dates, there were 2 breeding pair of thylacine bound for the Bronx Zoo. And the boat crashed into the shore, and most of the animals escaped, including the 2 breeding pair of thylacine. Fast forward 10, 15 years, you start having these chupacabra sightings pop up in the Northeast. And these animals were adapted to living in Tasmania, which is a pretty similar climate to the North American Northeast. And so there's people that have kind of drawn these parallels and said, oh, the chupacabra that we've reported running around, you know, the United States is actually a tiny remnant population of these thylacine that were brought here for the Bronx Zoo that escaped.
What? You buy into this?
No. Not
Sounds
personally,
good though, right?
but it's an amazing
Boy,
story.
You had me. If you said yes,
Yeah.
I'm ready to go on an expedition.
A quick question off of stuff you've talked about. If someone could get one for the Bronx Zoo, then would a rich person have been able to buy one, like a rich guy in Texas, for instance?
A thylacine?
Been able to purchase one privately?
Yeah. Back
Texas, you could probably get one today. If you want to find a thylacine, go to Bubba's house.
Right.
Yeah.
But especially back then, there were no like import-export laws about wildlife. You know, you could just bring in whatever you liked if you had money. You know, what's to say? Everybody was in a race to collect stuff for zoos and museums. Like, what's to say somebody didn't bring some in?